Chad, do you believe that um, a person who writes about the virtue of liberty while holding slaves, one, is inconsistent inconsistent in their practice, and two, um, immoral in their behavior?
Um, Ask that one more time. I'm sorry.
Do you believe that someone who writes about the virtues
I
of...
don't believe that they're immoral. I don't believe that they're inconsistent.
So you don't believe owning people is necessarily immoral, particularly when you write about the virtue of freedom and liberty?
So there are two accusations here. So the first accusation is that slavery is immoral. And then the second one is hypocrisy is immoral because you are writing about freedom and liberty while owning slaves. Delano's going to press him on that second point, but the first one gets debated a little bit as well.
Well, I mean, when you look at the fact that, and that leads to a very complex and nuanced conversation that I don't think we have the time right now to get into, but since you asked it, when you look at the question of what is and what isn't a citizen, I think that, and then too, when you look at slavery, biblically speaking,
Not biblically, in America.
Right.
So let's get the time frame right, because biblically they weren't writing about liberty in that sense. So let's say an American historical figure who writes about the virtues of liberty,
Yeah.
but owns slaves. Do you think that person is being inconsistent in terms...
I think it depends on the question, Delano. I think that's why it's tough for me to answer the question. Because the fact of the matter is, I'm not ready to concede this idea that having a slave is a completely immoral thing to do or to have. I don't believe that.
Or Liberty
whether it's in
Republic.
America or whether it's somewhere in Egypt or
Why do you say
Jerusalem. Because I don't think that there's any biblical evidence of the simple owning of a slave as being a sinful thing. I haven't seen any biblical evidence of that.
I mean, man stealing was met with the death penalty.
Well, now
in the
you're
Old
saying
Testament.
man stealing. Are we talking about slavery or are we talking about man stealing?
I mean, that's those two things are certainly in the same family.
They are in the same family. In fact, they're in the same verse. When you take a look at Exodus 21:16, two things are worthy of condemnation. One, the kidnapper. Two, anyone found in possession of the kidnap. Both of those were worthy of condemnation. So if you were a Southern plantation owner and you had kidnapped slaves walking around your plantation, the law said that you deserved to die. The law said that you were worthy of condemnation.
I could say, in the same way, I could say communism and wealth distribution are in the same family. I mean, I could say,
So
well,
Thomas Jefferson stole men?
if he didn't steal them, he bought them once were stolen.
Okay.
So if you want to parse it that way,
So buying a slave is sinful?
I think when you're a person who writes about liberty while practicing slavery, there is a vast disparity between your creeds and your deeds.
Buying a slave is not sinful. This is news to me.
I'm asking
And
a
I'm not-
question.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I haven't seen any evidence that it is.
Oh.
I haven't seen any evidence that it is. Again, I understand.
So it's not a lack of evidence. It's a misunderstanding of the kind of slavery we're talking about. In history, all slavery was not the same. You had harsh forms and you had very mild forms. And these forms were so mild that it wouldn't even be right to call it slavery. What you have in the Bible is indentured servitude, debt servitude. It's not chattel slavery. It's not what we have had in America. Exodus 21 says, when you buy a Hebrew slave, to Chad's point, is buying a slave sinful? Yes, if you're talking about chattel slavery. No, if you're referring to debt servitude, because the slave that is bought in this passage voluntarily sold himself into debt servitude because he was poor, because he was facing economic hardships. And every 7 years, or on the 7th year, he had the option to be set free, and he was also given provision. And these are two other indications that it was very different from what was happening in America. So the question is missing context. And that context is, how did the person become a slave or debt slave, or however you want to describe that? That's why the question is misleading when simply stated like that.
and I understand how provocative that may sound, and I'm not trying to be provocative.
No,
I'm not
I know
trying to be
you're not.
controversial. I just don't believe. The thing is, one of the things that a lot of people really kind of hang over America's head to this very day is this quote unquote sin of slavery. And
Why you say quote unquote when you say sin of slavery?
Well,
you don't think it was a sin.
I say quote unquote because of the overuse.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by that. So, and it's weaponized and it's used time and again as fodder for a political agenda. And so, for me, when Delano takes it back to the founding fathers and he asks the question, and pardon me if I'm misrepresenting your question, but as I understood it, is it wrong or is it sinful to be writing about slavery or freedom and liberty while you are the owner of slaves? Is it, okay.
I didn't say wrong or sinful. I said I can't remember the exact way I put it in when I framed it originally, but is it, I might have used the word disconnect. Like, is there a disconnect there? Or is there
a disconnect?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you look at the
Critical, is that what you mean?
Yeah. That's what
when you look at the Sivas, when you look at the citizen, like, which again goes back to Aristotle, Plato, the question of what is a citizen, right?
So notice what's happening here. We're leaving the Bible and we are going to Aristotle to ground our understanding of the human being. Why are we using Aristotle instead of scripture to ground our understanding of the human being? It doesn't make any sense. Aristotle is problematic. Number one, Aristotle believed that the slave and the citizen were two different types of creatures. They were ontologically different. As different as man is to beast, so is the master from the slave. This directly violates the image of God, which states that we are equal in worth and equal in value, and that there is one human race. Aristotle destroys that ideal. Number two, Aristotle believed that only the citizen can participate in what he called deliberative reason. The slave cannot, because the slave only has obeying reason, not deliberative reason. This is problematic because the image of God in Genesis 1 and 2 says that we are to rule and to have dominion over the earth. If you're saying that half the population does not have deliberative reason, but only has obeying reason, then how does this reflect the image of God? These are not Christian ideals. These are not Christian ideals.
If a slave is not considered a citizen of a specific nation or whatever the case may be, that doesn't give you the right to mistreat them. You know what I mean? Mistreat somebody who is your slave or your indentured servant or who's in your care, or whatever the case may be. So I'm not advocating for that by any stretch of the imagination.
But it gives you the right to own them.
Frankly, I mean, there was, so we live downstream of this kind of post-war consensus.
Okay, so this conversation goes on for like another 30 minutes. They talk about slavery some more and MLK and his legacy and so on. Guys, if you like content like this, please subscribe to the channel. I talk about apologetics, discipleship, and the Hebrew scriptures. If you found this video interesting, subscribe to the channel. I'll put a link in the description so you can check out the entire conversation. Anyway, guys, I'm done with this video. Grace and peace.